you have to let kids breathe and express themselves. And I say that for the simple reason that even now you're seeing a lot of 60-year-olds, especially women, and 65-year-olds, they're all walking around with pink and blue hair.
Yeah.
And I think they're only, me personally, I think they're only doing it because they don't have their parents nagging them not to do it. The parents are gone, they're gone. And you're seeing more of that. And I really believe that, it's very frightening for a kid to go into a salon.
What is it that scares them? Or
I don't think it is, I've been reading a bit up on this, and I don't think it's an actual pair of scissors that it is. Mm-mm. It's that, they're sitting in their mother's laps, or they're with their father, and they're not seeing what is being done to the parent. And I think it's really important that if you're going to get your child to a hairdressing salon and you want to get their hair cut, get them in when they're not going to get their hair cut so they can see what's going on. Mm-hmm. And they can see that it's not such a bad thing. So
yeah, I guess it's frightening to be sitting there and have someone say, "Don't move, don't move, don't move." Still. Yeah.
It is, and from a hairdresser's point of view, kids are a lot of work.
Yeah.
They really are, because they move a lot, and you've got a sharp pair of scissors in your hand, and you don't want to cut them, you don't want to make a mistake, because that's going to ruin the rest of their life, because they won't want to go back. But I think the parents need to look at the child, look at their temperament, and see how they're going to handle it.
Do you think that maybe if you had a young child that's going to be having an upcoming haircut, and you, like you suggest, you're bringing your child to watch you get your hair done, you work with the hairdresser to get the hairdresser to explain, I don't want mommy to move because we want to make this look really nice. Like, just give them kind of a background.
I think that kind of helps. I think to include them in on everything, no matter what you do in life, I think is very, very important, so they fully understand what's going on. Boys, they're not so bad. Mm-hmm. They go in and they go in with their father, or they go to the barber shop, and there never seems to be a problem with the boys. It's just the females are petrified, absolutely petrified of
little
getting their hair.
I think they're playing with their Barbie dolls or whatever they are. I mean, I've always found that little girls are fascinated with their doll's hair, and with their own hair, and yet they're petrified to go into the hair.
I think they're petrified because their mothers want them to see them a certain way, and they don't really want that.
That's true,
It's a thing that they just get this fear in them of having to argue with their parents all the time, and it has happened with boys as well. It doesn't not happen, but I'm saying they just seem to be a little bit easier because, especially now, kids just want to get their hair buzzed off.
Yeah, but little ones, like look at, for example, Celine Dion's son, who had hair down to his waist until, he may still have it. Would that have been a thing where I'm the boss of myself and parents should just say, okay? I've heard children say that.
I mean,
3-year-olds say, I'm the boss of myself. Okay.
I remember years ago, my brother, he had very long hair. And my father forced him to get it cut. He took him to the barber shop. And he sat down in the chair, and he was determined he was not going to get this done. So the barber came up to him and said to him, "Look, I'm only going to take off a little bit. It won't make a difference." So my brother turned around to him and said, "Well, if it's not going to make a difference, I don't see why I should be here. I'm going." And he left. And my father was furious at him, and he said, "No, I don't want to get my hair cut. I'll get my hair cut when I'm ready."
Yeah.
But many parents don't accept that, do they?
They won't accept it because they want this image of their children to be a certain way.
So does this become then, it becomes a thing. It becomes the battleground where children can assert their authority even if they're very young, because they can't assert their authority on many other things. You don't have a choice.
I think if the parent's willing to work with them, then they can bring out their own feelings.
But otherwise it's a battleground.
It's a battleground. I mean, you've even got adults that are scared of getting their hair cut. You had a guest in here a few days ago, actually. I won't mention his name, but I cut his hair all the time, and he gets really bushy eyebrows. So I always trim his eyebrows, but it took me a year to get him to be able to do this.
Wow.
He was petrified of it. I would go near him with a comb and a pair of scissors, and he would just seize right up. And it was almost like a fear of anybody touching him. But, around his eyes anyway. But, and children act the same way.
Yeah.
I think if a kid wants to colour their hair, let them do it. The sooner they do it, the sooner they're over it. It's the same as getting their little girls getting their ears pierced, or boys getting their ears pierced, or anything else. Let them do it. Who cares?
No. That's not the way it works. Never worked in my house.
No.
No tattoos, and I
didn't say tattoos.
I had boys. No piercings and no.
I didn't
no
say tattoos,
tattoos
but if a kid,
until
I don't know
if
if a boy wants to stick an earring in his ear.
No.
What's a stud or something? What's the matter with it?
They'll eventually take it.
They're gonna take it out.
Nothing's the matter with it, but he can do it when he's paying his rent, his own rent.
Well,
Okay.
this is what she said. What she said.
And that's
on
what Christine just said.
SiriusXM 167 on Canada Talks. We're here
Okay.
with Jason Kearns. I wanted to actually, and you started going there, I wanted to talk about the hair coloring. So there isn't really a time that it's not, because I was always concerned. When I was a kid, boy, oh boy, under penalty of wrath of mom, did you color your hair before the age of 18? That was the age. You didn't touch your hair color till you were 18 years old. My daughters came up, and one day my daughter I was at work, I came home, and she had black hair. She's a blonde. They just do it, and she knew that I didn't want her to do that. But is it safe for young people to?
Well, who sets the age of 18?
My mom.
Thank you. Okay, so you have your mother, she's got you, and you're both saying, no, 18. But, look, I think if a kid's in their teens, it's not going to hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to grow out. I mean, the colour's not going to penetrate their scalp and give them cancer or anything like that.
But
It's
for a
safe.
young child, though, Jason, would you?
For,
let's say a 5-year-old wanted to have their hair dyed.
I think I would be cautious of that at that early age of 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah,
Because
I would be
some
cautious
youngsters,
of it.
They see it and they want to do it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, see, you didn't agree with me on the ear piercing.
No.
But when they were 14, them and all their friends wanted to put some blonde highlights in. So guess who went to the store and got all the stuff, and they all did one another. I mean, they all painted the ends of their hair, because I didn't care. It was going to grow out in 3 weeks. It wasn't blue and green and purple. It was blonde, but that I let them do, but no permanent stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the blonde they put in, was it permanent?
No.
And if they put in pink, do you think it will be permanent?
No, I'm just saying the piercings and tattoos are permanent. So there you have to be an adult.
I understand where you're going with the tattoos, and piercing within moderation. It depends where they want to pierce.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're right in some aspects, but I think you're wrong in others. If they want to put earrings in, that's fine. They get over it.
It's fine for you, not for me.
Yeah.
Until I think they're adults and they can make that decision. When you just, I mean.
Look, my son did it.
Yeah.
He did it when he was about 12.
Yeah. That's your son, not my son.
Yeah.
Okay, by 13, 14, there was no more piercing. It was just done. It was over. It didn't bother putting anything in his ear. He got out of it fast away.
Yeah. Both of mine did with the piercings. Both wanted their ears twice or 3 times, and they wanted their nose pierced, and now they each just have one piercing in their ears. So yeah, it disappeared. It was gone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, especially the nose thing. That nose ring would fall out, and they say, "Help me put it back." I'm not touching that.
I mean, if you don't put an earring in, you're not going to see it. So
that's right.
I think there are more serious things in life one should worry about than just piercing. Tattoos on a permanent level, I agree with. I'm not disputing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not disputing that.
Now, one of the things that I never liked as a child, getting my hair cut, it wasn't the haircut, but it was the feeling of the hair on my neck, because the hairdresser did brush it off, but it would then go down my back, and I just couldn't wait to get home and have a shower. That's what I was thinking of when I was sitting in the chair, that I'm going to be itchy all day.
as you well know, when you come into me, I get you to get changed completely, and no clothes on, just your smock that you're wearing, and then afterwards you get a clean towel and you brush it off after. I think the same thing with a child. It does itch. It's horrible. I know when I get my hair buzzed, and that's every 2 weeks. I don't want my shirt on or a t-shirt on when I'm getting it done.
So basically, the takeaway is just let them make the decision when they're ready?
I think let them make the decision when they're ready, because they are going to do it with you or without
That's
you.
true.
And
bring them in ahead of time, so
bring them in ahead of time, get them used to it. If it's a boy, get them going in with their father.
Yeah,
or,
and give them chocolate while they're there, so they associate it with a great experience.
I don't think the bribe.
Bribery works.
I don't think the bribe works actually.
Oh.
I've seen it happen where mothers have brought their kids in and said, "Well, if you get your hair cut, you're going to get candies after." Well, I know one kid said, "No, I want the candy before to make sure I get it."
That's a smart kid.
Very smart, excuse me. But no, I think that you have to let them breathe. And if you don't let them breathe, you're going to suffocate them.
Well, and you're going to have a battleground over hair for the rest of their
That's
lives.
right.
I think so.
Well, you say you've even had older children, like late teens and young 20s, where the mother will come in or somebody will come in and have an opinion. No, I don't like that. No, I think it's too long. No, I don't think, where they're really pressuring a daughter who's working. I mean, she's out working, but her mom comes along and has something to say.
Like, can you imagine what that child's life's been like up until that point, all along, with everything? I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good. Let them breathe. You tie a dog up all day. It's going to want to escape. You let it roam, it comes home.
So what about you as a stylist, being in the middle of this sort of, tugging war between mother-daughter or I don't know, mother-son, mother-child?
It can be difficult, but if I get a client and she's going to explain to me, I want to bring my daughter in or my son in, I would say to them, that's fine, but as long as you're not going to stand over me while I'm doing it, I'm dealing with him or her, and I want to deal with him or her. I don't want you interfering. If you want to give me some guidelines beforehand while they're not around, that's fine, but don't do it in front of them.
There you go.
Very smart.
Excellent advice.
Excellent advice.
Yeah.
But it could be a cruel and a hard thing to do. And sometimes a child will not want to go to their mother's hairdresser or their father's hairdresser, especially at a certain age. Mm-hmm. Like I'm the age I'm at. And you get a 15-year-old sometimes, and I've got a lot of 15-year-olds that come to me because I find them fun and I'm very easy with them and I work well with them. But there's others that I don't want to go to him, he's too old.
Yeah.
They want to go to somebody.
Well, I
short
remember
and trendy
my
and everything
boys
else.
did not want to go to my hairdresser
Yeah.
when they were young. They wanted to go to a sort of a barber shoppy type thing. They wanted it to be a guy's place.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, I had to go to a place where it was largely men cutting hair.
Yeah, I mean,
And men in the chair.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of kids' places that people go to. The turnover in staff is very, very high because hairdressers get tired of cutting kids' hair because there's this constant battle. So you've got this constant turnover with staff.
You have another little bugaboo too, which is that people think that somehow because it's a child's haircut, it should be a fifth of the price.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
because it's more work.
It is more work. It is more work. They move, they stop and start, they want to go and see their dad, they start crying. The mother starts interfering, and before you know, your hour appointment is like an hour and a half.
Right.
And you get behind. So it takes a lot of work.
Well, a little time spent in getting the kids ready for those haircuts is going to mean a lot more pleasant times for the child and for you, the haircutter.
I think for everybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, the child does come first, as far as I'm concerned.
Most certainly.
Click the channel subscribe button for full-length interviews and more from What She Said here on YouTube.